So if you've made it this far into the process, first of all, I want to say thank you. And I also want to promise you that what I'm about to show you is very easy, not complicated. You can do this stuff. And if you get it right, you're going to impress your friends and you'll be the coolest cat around. So this is the Skeletor armor and staff. So if you look closely, you can see that these are the parts scaled down, and the staff is always going to be the same size. So I took the liberty of cutting the staff up. So all you have to do is print it and connect it with these pins, right? But the question is, how big does the armor need to be? You need to size and scale this stuff to fit your body. People who tell you that you can buy pre-made files and just fit them to yourself is wrong. I've done that before and I've wasted my money. What you need to do is this process, but I'm about to teach you how to do it. So it's super simple and it's fun. So let's do some brief things real quick, cover some bases. First, the question I get first is, what is this scaled to? So if you look at the shoulder pads here, you can see that it's at 20%. So if I scale it up to 100%, what does it fit? It fits this guy. So this is what I use to model and scale all of my stuff. This gentleman is a 5'8", what I call the ultimate male, right? The six-pack, arms, everything. So if your body is 5'8" and you have a ripped six-pack and you scale everything up to 100%, it will fit you perfectly. However, that's unrealistic. It's never going to happen. So you have to size and scale these to your body, okay? So we're going to talk about that in a minute. The next question I get is, well, I only see one shin. Where's the other one? And the answer is, that's your job, okay? So I'll just show you how to do that real quick. I'll just bring it over here. So if you just do Control-C, copy, paste, right now you've got a second one. And if you just do right-click, mirror across any axis, now you've got the mirror image. So now you've got both. So now you have two shins, okay, a right and a left. Does that make sense? Super easy, okay? That's the basics. So let's talk about sizing and scaling, okay? So all of these need to be scaled to your body. What's the first thing you need to do? You need to print cosplay calipers. So cosplay calipers are here. This is me. You can get on here, print these, because you need to measure the dimensions of your body to make it fit your body. So in this case, let's use this as the example. So we're going to size up the helmet. I've already done all my own dimensioning, but let's talk about it, okay? So this is the helmet at 20%. Again, if you scale it up to 100, it might fit. It probably will, but why do that? Why not just do it correctly? So let's just put it up to 100% just so we can grab the dimensions easier, okay? So the first thing we have to do is measure ear to ear, okay? So let's grab that dimension. You click this, and then you go up here to measure, right? And you want to measure the closest edges, so you know you can slide it down over your head. And ironically, my head is 150. I know that dimension, so I'm good here. I know this is correct. Okay, let's check another dimension. I'm looking for my head. I know my nose to the back of my head is 107 millimeters. So let's click on this one, and then let's go like this and say, oh, all right, well, it's 228. All right, so that's probably too big, and I like my helmets to be very snug. You can leave it that size, put padding in there if you want to, but for the sake of the argument, let's size it, okay? So it's 228 now, and it needs to be 207. So go to any calculator or AI. I just use my iPhone, and I hold the button in on the side, and I say, what percentage of 228 is 207? 90.7. Okay, so we know it's 90.7. But here's the trick. So if I go in here and I go like this and I change this to 90.7, it'll change all the dimensions, right? Oops, excuse me. 96 sticks 0.7. Okay, so look, so now it changed all the dimensions, including the one that I know was right, the 150 we looked at earlier. So the trick is, I'm going to just do Control-Z. The trick is you have to turn off uniform scaling, okay? So now figure out, okay, so the green is correct, the Y is correct, the red side to side needs to be at 90.7. Oops. 90.7. Okay, so now this will just change this dimension, right? Okay, so now it would fit me better. Okay, so we've got those two. Now you can do the top to bottom if you want. I'll do that just for the sake of the conversation. Show you how that's done. So kind of there to maybe somewhere over here. And then if you look at it for the side here, sometimes it gives you that, the 244. That's not what we need. We need this blue line. So let's see if we can get it to spit out the blue line dimension. There it is. Okay, so now it's 243. I know my head is 270. So again, you can see it's from top to bottom there. So I might want to go in here, and you can do it by hand if you want to. You can just guess at it and say, okay, so I'm just going to lift this up a little bit. Okay. So now we know we've got the X, the Y, and the Z all correct. But as you can tell, obviously, it falls off the plate in a lot of different areas. I'm going to pull this down just a little bit. So how do we fix that? You need to slice up each one and then connect them with a plastic welder, okay? So how do you slice? Let's go right here to cut. This part is on you, depends on your printer. I have a P1S. If you have an A1, your pieces will have to be smaller. But I'm just going to cut it up real quickly here. I'm going to place it on the cut on both so it'll flip it, right? You can try connectors if you want. This piece is pretty thick. You might be able to get some connectors in there, but you really don't need them. And I'll tell you why in a minute here. So let's move this up a little bit so that whole part, the top part, fits on the bed. So let's do perform cut. Okay, so now let's see if the top of the skull fits. Okay, it does, right? Okay, and we've got, unfortunately, the front to back is still no good. So let's just cut that. We'll go like this real quick. Again, I recommend really taking your time here and figuring out what cut fits and works best for your specific helmet. So now we have this piece that's on nice flat surfaces, right? So it's going to print well. And then we'll add one more bed here just for kicks, and we'll throw this one here. Okay. So there we go. Now we've got a helmet that we know fits on all three beds based on your printer. It has flat surfaces to print off of, and we know it would fit your head, okay? So you have those parts. Final step, how do you connect them all together? You probably saw it a second ago over here. This is the exact tool that I use. This is what's called a plastic welder. They use a lot of these in auto body repair for cars. So if you take a quick look, you can see the metal staple there heats up, and then you sink it into the plastic, between the two edges. And it looks a little janky, I know, but I've been using this thing for years, and I've never you could throw this armor against a wall, and it won't be a problem. So again, now you've got everything you need. You've got all the parts. You can scale them up. You can scale them down. The staff is here, slicing, printing, connecting. You are good to go. You've got all the tools you need. I appreciate you staying in and hanging out this far. If you have any questions, please let me know, and good luck. The universe is always conspiring in your favor. You can do this.